everybody, what's up? It's Red from hashtag The More You Know and Coffee and Conversation. I'm here with Underground Media tonight to talk to you about Anchor FM. If you have not heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Anchor is your one-stop shop for podcasts. First, Anchor is free. That's right, you heard me correctly. It is free. Anchor will provide you with the creation tools necessary to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or your computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms. Do you like to make money? Sure you do. We all do. Who doesn't? You can make money with your podcast with no minimum listenership required. That's right, no minimum listenership. How awesome is that? So do yourself a favor and go to www.anchor.fm or go to your app store and download the free Anchor.fm app and get started today.
Watch them grow. I dream I know. Deep are my feelings for you. Watch them grow.
Alrighty, here we go.
Fantastic.
And we're live. Yay.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Red and Underground Media. Thank
Now
you
that they
guys
can
for
actually
tuning
hear
in.
you because I actually had it muted. So they
Oh,
missed your wonderful
come on.
beginning.
Well, good evening, everybody. It is good to see all of you back. We are live once again for Coffee and Conversation. As you know, my name is Red, and we have the lovely host, Underground Media, here with us live tonight for the first time in what? 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5?
Way, way, way too long.
It's been
That
long
much.
overdue. Right?
Right? I know. It's been insane. But I am very glad to be back and hoping, it is our hope, to be back twice a week now on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yep.
And then also to be doing the regular podcasts and whatnot. We actually have a lot of really exciting things going on.
Absolutely.
First and foremost, yes, as you guys can tell, we're talking cancel culture again. And part of that is because when Larry was here the last time, it was amazing. And we had a lot of requests to do a part 2. Or you guys listening to the podcast, this will be technically part 3 since the other one I split into 2 podcasts. But very, very, very excited to do a take 2 of this. We are going to be covering a lot of different subjects, and a lot of it, honestly, has to do with this whole idea of canceling and the difference between canceling and accountability and the different things that those can do, and how all of these things are a lot more nuanced than we would like to believe, or than whether any news media outlet will typically not tell you how nuanced it is. It's a very black and white, but in this world, there's a lot more gray. So we will be doing that tonight.
Rest
go ahead, Red.
Rest assured, everybody, this is not going to be some political droning. There are going to be hints of politics and observances against both sides. However, this is not to be divisive. This is not in an effort to downgrade or downplay one group or another by no stretch of the means. And please, by all means, if you guys have questions, feel free to chime in on chat. Ask us. We want your input. If you got comments, let us know. Real quick, I want to give a special shout out to my big brother, Kerry. He is tuning in live from the Washington, D.C. area. Thank you, brother, for tuning in. It is an absolute honor to have you checking us out tonight.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard to the controlled chaos that we call Coffee and Conversation.
Right? Exactly. Hey, chaos is not a bad thing as long as it's controlled. Now, how it's controlled,
That's another, yes.
That's another subject for another day.
Absolutely.
I also, real quick, wanted to give a shout out to some new peoples. They are new to podcasting. If you like to laugh, please check them
Yes.
out. It is 8750 is the podcast. 8750, the numbers. And you can find it on
That's
Anchor
right.
FM, and you can also find it on Spotify. But if you go to anchor.fm / or / whichever that slash is, I never can remember. But the number is 8750. It is absolutely hilarious. And honestly,
Yes,
it's funny
it
because
is.
I randomly found them on Twitter. And we started having these threads of just nonsensical conversations. And it was awesome. Let me tell you, it was awesome. It reminded me of being back in high school, to be honest. But if you're looking to have a laugh, definitely check them out.
I tell you what.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the Yeti crew and that podcast, man, they are phenomenal people, wonderful people to chat with.
Absolutely.
I think coming up soon we should have them as a guest.
Absolutely.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we were going to have a special guest tonight. However, he had to cancel due to some personal things in his life. However, stay tuned. We will make a special announcement. He is coming on hopefully within the next week or so. I guarantee you will be entertained beyond anything you could ever dream of. And if you're a fan of, I don't even know what's classified Guar as, but if you're entertained by Guar, trust me, you're going to love this guy. If he's, I don't know if he's tuning in tonight or not. I should send him an invite and have him actually hear our format. But no, I digress.
Oh, real quick, thank you, Pink Pig 76 for following. Much appreciated. And also, I'm not hitting it real hard this month because we are just getting back to it. And for anybody new that's following or checking this channel out, you will see that we have not been live in some time, but we are coming back. And if you like the content, please follow, like, subscribe. If you are a Amazon Prime user, you can subscribe to the Twitch channel via your Amazon Prime. So yes, definitely. And all proceeds and everything, biddies, everything goes straight to the production of these podcasts and to a good cause.
Absolutely.
Because we do this because we love it, because we love you guys, and because we want to make a difference in this world. And this is one of the ways that we try to do that. So,
absolutely. So, Acacia, that brings up a real good point. Before we get started, I want to throw out Anchor FM. That is Anchor.fm, guys. This is Anchor is supported by Spotify. Everybody listens to Spotify, it seems like nowadays, and that's a great thing. It reaches literally across the globe. All right, you can contribute to us here at Beyond Barriers Radio Underground Media by as little as $1 a month, guys. That's less than a cup of coffee at most places, right? There's 3 different tiers you can contribute to. It's 99 cents a month, $4.99, or $9.99 per month. If you want to support us, the other way you can support us, everybody, is to hit that like and share button. Smash the hell out of it. Tell your mom, tell your friends, tell your grandma, because all people are welcome here, man. And it's a blast, I tell you. Anchor FM. You know what more can I say about it? It's your one-stop shop. You know, you can do a podcast from your phone, from your iPad, from your Chromebook, from your home computer, whatever. They give you all the tools right there. It's a wonderful platform. I'm glad that we are able to use it. So
absolutely.
Without further ado, let's dive right into cancel culture here, folks. It's a very common subject nowadays. Early on, we made mention of a difference between canceling and holding people accountable. Now, it's a kind of a fine line, a shaded gray area. Realistically, when you think about it, people, it's everybody under the, especially here in the United States, under the First Amendment, we are guaranteed freedom of speech. Now, with that, we're not free from the consequence of our speech, right?
Exactly.
some prominent examples are those who lean on a conservative side. They're getting silenced, it seems like, or being shut down, being muted on social media platforms and things of that nature. Now, the fact, if one group has the right and freedoms to say what they want to say, should not the other? Is a very common question, and the answer, although it's simple, is complicated all at the same time. The simple part of that is yes, absolutely. We should all have the right and the freedoms to say how we feel, to speak what we want to speak, but we are not free from the repercussions of that speech. For example,
Exactly.
true hate speech, right? So groups like the KKK, the neo-Nazi groups and crap like that, they're protected under the First Amendment. Now, does that make what they're saying okay? Absolutely not.
No.
Are they free from the repercussions of what they're saying? Absolutely not. But on that same damn token, anybody who's being anti-Semitic, racism of any kind, right? Hate of any kind, being militant in a belief system, being a religious zealot, there's consequences for all of it, right? Now,
Absolutely.
what we see in media, what we see on social media especially, is sometimes, a lot of times, it's conservatives that are being effectively silenced because certain people are offended because someone else's opinion doesn't align with theirs. Now, I have friends on both sides of the spectrum. I have friends that really just don't give two shits about either party. I've got friends who are Buddhist, family who's Muslim, but we can still get along and have open dialogue regardless if we agree or not, right? And this is, people, this is where we are lacking in our country and across the globe, is we are all not allowing this open dialogue to happen. And
actually,
really,
go ahead. I was just gonna say something here real quick, and you already know where I stand on most of this, but I'm playing the devil's advocate here. Okay,
absolutely.
So yes, there's a lot of hardcore conservatives that are being silenced and stuff like that. But what happens when those conservatives are silencing those that are not believing the same as they do and painting them as the other? So it, like you said, it goes both ways, and neither, and we're not saying either side's right. I mean, honestly, it's kind of somewhere in the middle typically,
It is, absolutely. They're both sides are acting like spoiled little brats who have never been told a day in their damn life, and it's abhorrent. It's disgusting. It makes no damn sense. I'm reminiscent of the 90s and 2000s. Now, I'm not saying this kind of stuff didn't exist. Racism has existed. Class warfare has existed for generations. Okay?
Sorry to interrupt you really quick. I know I paused you mid. I can't even talk. Goodness gracious. No. Pink Pig, thank you so much for subscribing. I wanted to throw that out there real quick. Okay. Go ahead. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, you're good. So all this stuff has existed for a long time, everybody. It really has. But most of you might remember the 90s and even into the early 2000s where everybody was getting along. Nobody gave two, pardon my language, if this offends you, sorry, not sorry. Nobody gave two shits what god people were worshiping, who they were sleeping with, what clothes they wanted to wear, what bathroom they wanted to use, what gender they did or did not want to be. None of it bloody mattered. All right? And let's face it, everybody, it shouldn't still today. It is 2021 and the whole world is still acting like a bunch of entitled little shitheads. Who cares? If what someone else is doing is not directly affecting your physical safety or affecting the food on your table, why do you care?
Hold up here. I'm going to play the devil's advocate again. There is I know. And it's funny because typically, you know me, I typically don't take this stance. But I'll tell you what, and I'm going to show the trailer for it tonight in a little bit. It's called it's a brand new, it literally just came out, I think on the 14th, it's called Hope in the Holy Land. And it is so prevalent right now because it's talking literally about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict that's going on over there. And now I will keep my own personal opinions as far as the politics are concerned to myself because, in my opinion, the politics don't matter right now. The people is what matters. But,
exactly.
You know, it goes back to that. It's like, okay, so if it's not affecting you, why do you care? There is we could say the same thing. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict isn't directing me immediately. Other people it is. But where I'm going with this is the fact that, okay, it's from World War II, and it is by a preacher, I think, I can't remember. I'm going to botch it. Anyway, essentially what it says is that, oh, thank you, Saint Girl. Appreciate it. Is that, you know, they came for the Catholics. I wasn't Catholic. They came for the Jews. I wasn't Jew, so I didn't. Or they came for the communists, so I didn't. It didn't directly affect you, so you didn't do anything. But then they came for me, and there was nobody left to stand. Do you see what I'm saying here? So even though, like, some of these things don't directly affect somebody, in the bigger picture of things, it can. However, the way you were talking about is that if it is not harming you or another human being, then it's one of those nuanced things that, in the grand scheme of things, it really isn't something to turn into an enemy over. It's not something to dehumanize over. So yes, you are right. You know, if it's not directly affecting you, if it's not harming you or another person, go ahead.
But on top, now with that though, see, this is where it can get muddy. All right, is not everybody is going to agree with one topic or another, or this, that,
exactly.
Or the other. But that's okay. The individual. So, for example, if I'm offended by something, right, I have a conscious choice to let that rule my mental state, right, or to overcome it.
Exactly.
So, if for example, I know personally, they're acquaintances, and they one of them has transitioned, okay, and did so in such a fashion that wasn't militant. Now, people, what I mean by militant is they weren't all up in your face saying, you need to accept me as this and da-da-da-da-da, and shoving it. Right? Now, before I go further, anybody who's watching that is in transition, I want you to know that I am proud of you for doing what you feel is right for you in your life. Bravo. I am extremely proud of you. Keep doing you. All right? However, you cannot reasonably and feasibly expect everybody to be okay with it. And that's okay. The beautiful part of being who we are as human beings and the dynamics is we can disagree and still get along. We can still be peaceful and respectful to one another, regardless if we see 100% eye to eye. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it does get difficult because sometimes it's like, okay, well, I believe about this subject very, very, very strongly. I blah, 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 blah. You were wrong if you don't do this. You are going, you know, whether you want to use Christianity, you know, I'll use that as an example only because I was raised that way. And it's like, well, if you're not a Christian, then you're evil and you're going to hell. Not all,
Right.
don't
Right.
get me wrong, not all Christians believe that. Believe me, I no, not all Christians are the same, just like not all of everybody of any religion's the same. We're all individually our own individuals, which is beautiful. Which
Yeah.
honestly, in my own personal opinion, I think that's one of the issues that society has succumbed to is the fact that you mentioned back in the 90s and the early 2000s, everybody was fighting for their individualism, fighting to be able to break out of that mold and be outside of the box. And then now, all of a sudden, we want cookie cutters. I'm not saying
Yeah.
we, as in like me or
Just-
everybody,
It's a
but
general term.
society in general is almost like, well, being an individual is wrong now.
Right. Right. Conform or else. It's like, wait
We-
a minute. What?
We fought for so many years to be individuals. I mean, heck, look at
Yes.
Eminem. He is a
Yeah.
perfect example right now, and I will call that out. He pretty much, and if you've heard Tom McDonald actually just
Yes.
came out with a song that he actually dedicated to Eminem because Eminem was one of his idols, I guess you could
Right.
say. And,
Yep.
you know, he was out flipping the bird and saying crazy shit that was not, it wasn't like accepted in society
Right.
because it was really out there.
Right.
It was different.
Exactly.
And then we turn around and we see a lot of these people that once were for being an individual caving because of cancel culture,
Exactly.
caving to the masses.
Which is where I personally have big issues. All right?
Mhm.
I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. None of that shit matters. At the end of the day, we're still human beings, people. And it's time we start acting like it. Right? The fact of the matter is this, is we're all different. Dangerous things happen when you try to force everybody to be the same. Right? Someone's career. Gina Carano?
I can never pronounce it
actor-
either.
The actress from The Mandalorian got fired because she's a conservative. Why?
Well, there's a lot of
I'm
debate
sorry.
over that.
Well,
However,
there is. I will admit that some of the things she said.
do I think
could
that
have been
she should have
worded a
been
lot
canceled
different.
completely? No. That's
No.
just one of many examples. And I kind of touched on this the last time when Larry was with us, how
Mhm.
like with the boycotting and stuff like that. And I'm not going to say that you should or you shouldn't do it because that is your own personal choice to make. I'm
Right.
not going to advocate for one side or the other. I'm just
Right.
giving information and thought something to think about when you do that. Because when I was younger, I was raised fairly conservative, and which I'm very glad that I was. But I remember there's all these things about, well, boycotting this store or that store because they stood for
Mhm.
this. Because maybe not the company, maybe not the people
Right.
working for the company. Because in this day and age, and in a capitalist society, I guess you could say, we think of it as corporations, not as the human beings that have to work at those jobs in those corporations that will be hurt. Because we think, okay, I don't like something that Amazon did, I am going to boycott Amazon. If enough people do that, could it put Amazon out of business? It could. But is
Absolutely.
Jeff Bezos going to care? No, he's got his
No.
pockets lined up from here till
Exactly.
eternity and for his kids and his grandkids and then some. Who's it going to hurt? It's going to hurt that mother or father or daughter or son or grandparent that relies on that job, no matter what wage it is, they rely on that job to provide for their family.
Right.
They now cannot
Exactly.
provide for their family. So who really, in the end, got hurt?
Right. Someone in our chat made a really great comment. If we're all the same, nothing new would ever be invented. Imagination would stagnate. And regardless of who you are, as long as it is not hate speech, it's free to have an informed opinion. And yes, that is true. Now, this is, again, where it gets pretty fucking muddy. I'm sorry for the language, people, but everything is being considered racist and hate speech. What? No! Mathematics, people, is not racist. Classical music, it's not racist. It's bullshit to even think that. Okay? It's not fair to really anybody.
No,
Yes.
God, please, no, no.
Yes. You know, so it just blows my freaking mind. It really does, that some of the littlest things. I read a post today where someone had said that big, oversized pickup trucks are inherently racist and used to run over pedestrians on the sidewalk. Now, I don't know about you, but I watch them sidewalks, man. Boy, them wild trucks, boy, they're just out of control, aren't they? Oh, police. Go take a shot of whiskey and take a nap, son. Go sit down. All right. Seriously, dude.
I'm glad you said I'm glad you said take a shot of whiskey and sit down. So that way they didn't think to take a shot of whiskey and go drive.
Hey, you never. Nowadays, who knows? My comment right there could be misconstrued as fucking racist, and just go away, okay? Just go running, go. Just please go off the grid.
You told me to go away, so I went away.
Not you, you goof. Jesus. Now listen, people. Here's the deal. All right. It's okay to have differing opinions. It's not okay to be an asshole about it. All right?
That's
Freedoms
essentially
do
what we
not-
are trying to say.
The personal freedoms for everybody do not end when your feelings get hurt.
They
All
don't?
right? No.
Oh.
Now listen, I have. Now hold on, guys. I'm going to disappear for a second. I got someone who is going to help explain this a little better. Be right back. Don't go away. Stay tuned. There's more. More debauchery and fun coming right up.
Oh no. God help us all, please.
You asked for it.
Cancel culture is censorship. I would definitely agree to some degree with that, Wings and Halo. The thing is that nowadays with this whole conformity culture is what I'm going to call it. I don't even know if that's a thing, but that's essentially what it has become. And people are using, oh no, we got the puppet. No, who's this fellow that decided to join today?
Well, I guess it just depends on who you ask. Some people call me Charlie. Some people call me Numbnuts. I guess it depends on how much I've had to drink, really.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to say?
Well, it's hard out there for a Muppet. Muppets need love too. Just remember that.
Okay. We got that. Everybody, please give Muppets love because they need love just like everybody else.
Now, I don't know what the big fuss is with everybody. Why?
Why
Since
what?
when? Since when do we have to get all upset over everything? It makes no damn sense. None.
Your pink hair is offending me at the moment. Or is that a bald spot? I'm just kidding. Don't be sad.
I'm not sad. No, see, that right there is coming from an unfortunate accident with the hot glue gun.
Oh.
But people, we just need to stop. It's okay. It's okay. Really, just be you. Let me be me, and you be you. That's all there is to it.
Absolutely. I think you are perfectly right. So in saying that we should let you be you and you should let me be me, what if you don't like something that I'm doing? What if you think it's
Um,
appalling? But if it's not hurting anybody, should I be canceled?
no. Why? Because I can't say it. It's too vulgar. Fuck you. That's why. I don't care. If I'm appalled, then I really need to take a look at my personal feelings and reevaluate my morals and my thoughts and wonder why I'm offended.
Well, you might actually have a good reason to be offended. But just because you
Rightfully
were
so, but-
offended,
but-
that doesn't give somebody the right to overstep and try to cancel you as a person, because ultimately I think you're right. That's what cancel culture is trying to do. You're canceling the person.
And that is where it seems like it's a grossly untreated mental illness to be this way. Because just because I'm offended does not mean you don't have the right to do what you want to do.
True.
This world is going to hell in a handbasket and I'm driving the bus. We have forgotten how to laugh. We forgot how to laugh. What the fuck? We need to learn how to laugh again.
So how do you propose that we learn how to laugh again?
Stop being so damn offended by everything. Listen to Foamy the Squirrel nonstop for 24 hours and you won't be offended.
No, you might just be insane then. But you won't be offended anymore.
Insane is relative.
Exactly.
Thanks for
Oh,
having
my
me on,
goodness.
guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Well, I think we should have that guest on more often. I liked that conversation. How about you all? Now, chat, do you guys have anything that you would like to add? Or any questions? Because we like to interact with you as much as humanly possible. We're not afraid
Thank you
for heavy hitting stuff. That was awesome. That really, really was
Thank
awesome.
you. That was a lot of fun. I figured a study aid might be beneficial to some of these folks because, I mean, it's a damn puppet. Nobody was getting offended when Jeff Dunham was saying shit with his puppet. So you know what?
Oh,
I
my
think I might
goodness.
try.
But
So while we're waiting
here's
for
the other thing is, real quick. The other thing is, too, is that some people might have been offended with Jeff Dunham. But you know what they had a choice to do? Turn the TV off.
They had two choices in that moment. If they were listening on Pandora, on TV, whatever, they had two choices with the comedian. Ha ha, no ha ha. That's it.
You can choose to turn it off. We're not forcing anybody to listen to this Twitch and to
That's
watch
right.
us do crazy things
That's
and
right.
have insane conversations. You know? And
So, listen,
they want to know if your friend, what's your friend's name again?
Charlie.
Charlie? Can we call him Nucking Futz?
Numbnuts? Nucking Futz?
Nucking
Oh,
Futz.
Absolutely.
Does he do tours? Evidently somebody wants to know if he does tours.
I don't know. I'll ask him later. So listen, everybody, before we go any further, I know out there we got a lot of fans of DC Comics, Harry Potter, Marvel, and Rick and Morty. I'm Pickle Rick.
Woohoo!
If you go to www.monthlyteeclub, that is teeclub.com, for the low price of $14.99 a month, they will send you a box full of T-shirts ranging from Harry Potter to Marvel to Rick and Morty.
All
just to
sorts
name
of
a
different
few.
things.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, it's amazing. So they have something called hashtag T for a T project. Okay. What that is their charity bit. They believe that every human being should have access to the basics in life, and clean clothing is no exception. This is why they are making a difference of one tea at a time with their T for a T project. In other words, if you buy a tea, they give a tea.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, guys, you can't go wrong with supporting a group like that. So that is monthlyt.com for all of your awesome parody t-shirt needs.
Absolutely. And actually, what I'm going to do, because we're about to the midway point right now, is if any of you guys have been listening, I mentioned about showing the preview for Hope in the Holy Land. This is a great, great movie. I just saw this film. I'm going to put the link up in here. Hold on. Sorry, I apologize for that brief moment because I cannot type and talk at the same time. Exactly. I cannot type and talk at the same time. But there's the link. I will put it in the description on the podcast and on the videos. Check out Hope in the Holy Land. No matter what your view is on the conflict,
that's right.
This will touch you and definitely make you think of things you might not have thought of before. So,
absolutely.
While I do that, give me 2 seconds here, and I will throw it up
While
here.
you are doing that, real quick, guys, we all know that mental health is a major thing, and self-care is also very important. More especially over this last year, as tumultuous as it has been. If you are struggling at all with any mental health, I'm encouraging you to text the word HOME. That's HOME to 741-741. That's going to connect you with a crisis counselor locally here in the States, 24/7, 365. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is also available in English and in Spanish. It is available 24/7, and that number is 1-800-273-8255. To our friends up north in Canada, welcome. I hope you guys are having a great time. The Canada Suicide Lifeline is 1-833-456-4566. Or between the hours of 4 p.m. Eastern and midnight, you can text 45645. If none of those options are available to you, please call your local emergency number or dial 911. If you are out and about, please report to your local emergency department, as they have trained nurses, doctors, and other staff available to help you in your time of need. Do not be afraid to reach out or to even ask to speak to a counselor, because you know what? It is more admirable to ask for help than to end your life. And I know me personally,
absolutely.
I don't want to see you die.
And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I had wanted to do a show like last week or the week before, but unfortunately I just had too much stuff going on. But with that note, self-care is huge. Don't work yourself into the ground. Always take time. If you need time, take time for yourself as well. Go ahead.
Acacia, I just received a text, and Carrie, again, thank you for tuning in, brother. I appreciate it. He brings up a good point. It was something that was brought up in the very first episode of this. Okay, cancel culture is nothing new. This is correct, and it is not just a left thing. Okay, I want to make that very clear. We were not insinuating at all that this is only one-sided, because it is two-sided, very much.
Both sides are.
Colin Kaepernick was a prime example. His career got thrashed because he took a stand against police brutality. That's not. I may not agree with what he says or what he does, but I will defend to the very end his right to say it.
Yep.
Because he has the same rights as all of us. Now, if you think about it too, the blacklist system during the McCarthy period was major. Anyone that had any sympathy with the Communist Party was fired and blacklisted and erased, right? Nowadays, it's kind of in reverse. If you don't support socialism, communism, etc., you're deemed racist and blah, blah, blah. So this is not just a one-sided problem, guys. This is a two-fold issue.
Yes.
We need to go back to basics and remember that we are human beings. I don't have to like everything you do, just like you don't have to like everything I do or say, for that matter. But we need to respect each other's right to say it and to feel it.
Yep.
It's not okay to force it down someone's throat, but it is okay to agree to disagree, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
We can still love one another and be peaceful without having to agree 110% on everything. right?
Exactly.
So, remember, people, both sides of the aisle are very guilty of the same damn tactics, and it's just disgusting. The reason they continue to do it, realistically, there's money to be made by division.
And the other thing is too that's a lot of it, and it's also because we get that us versus them mentality, and if we'll just throw the politics out there or whatever, but like you said, if you were a communist, you were blacklisted. If you're a conservative, you're blacklisted now. If whatever. The thing is the fact that, and I've said this before, and I think I said it on the last one, people are not their politics. Politics do not determine your humanity. Your beliefs do not determine whether or not you deserve to live, to breathe, to make a living for your family. I don't care how disgusting I may think your belief system is. It does not negate your humanity. It does not cancel your humanity at all. So I will make that very clear. And I will defend to the day I die somebody's right to, I might not like what you say, but as long as you are not harming another person, you are not talking illegal things, and you are not calling for the death or destruction of another people.
Yes.
I will defend your right to say it. I might not agree with it. I will tell you I don't agree with it. But because you're defending somebody's God-given human rights does not mean that you agree with that person. And what we need to do is cross the aisle. That's what we're forgetting.
Yes.
One standing over here, one standing over here. We're right, you're right. We're wrong, you're wrong. Well, there's this whole space in the middle. Why can't we stand there?
Why can we not? Why are we no longer allowed to have open dialogue? And that is something I think on Coffee and Conversation and hashtag The More You Know that we have strived, that we try to strive to do. Even with Beyond Barriers, for those of you who do not know what Beyond Barriers is, it is a nonprofit organization that speaks out against violent extremism of all kinds. Okay. www.beyondbarriersusa.org. Check it out. Please check it out. The fact of the matter is, people, is open dialogue is a good thing because it brings us closer together. A lot of times, misinformation is spread like wildfire, right? On both sides. Keep in mind, this is referring to both sides of the aisle here, okay? Misinformation is spread and people gobble that shit up. But if we can take time and listen to one another and talk and discuss rationally and peacefully, even a debate is okay. But if we can get back to wanting to genuinely hear each other out, I promise you, the turmoil that is happening right now, not only in the U.S. but across the world, will start to dissipate.
Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I'm going to throw this out there. I don't know. I'm a big Joe Rogan fan.
Mm-hmm.
In one of his early comedy specials, he had it right. Just get a bunch of crop duster planes, fill it with a bunch of chronic smoke, and fly over all these places, drop a bunch of chronic smoke, get everybody high, man, and just sit back and chill and talk to each other. One of the things I love about heavy metal music, people, is when you're in the pit, when you're in a mosh pit, moving around and thrashing around, nobody gives two shit about your sexual orientation. Nobody gives a shit about your religion.
You just know if you're down there, you're going to get the crap beat out of you. And you're having fun.
If you fall, they open up and they help you back
exactly.
Up, Yep. Kid Rock said it best, get in the pit and fucking love someone. Pull your heads out of your butts. Stop being stuck up. And just start loving one another. The hippies had it right. Who'd have thought?
I know. Nice. No, it's interesting though, because it's like, I understand people would be like, well, would you expect me to sit down with a terrorist and talk to him? Well,
Yeah.
would you expect Daryl Davis to sit down with a Klansman and talk with him? Daryl Davis is a black man. Now, I am not advocating for just any person to go and do this, because not every man can do what Daryl Davis has achieved and Daryl Davis does.
That's right. That's right.
What I am saying is the fact that it takes unconventional methods.
That's
And
right.
I'm saying dialogue is an unconventional method, because we have become such an online. We live our lives as a society across the world. Majority of us that have technology, if you have TikTok, if you have Snapchat, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have Twitter,
Right.
Twitch, you live your lives online. There is no human interaction anymore.
That's right.
We need
And
to
that's
get
sad.
back to that human interaction with each other. Because
Bonfires and beers,
if we
man.
don't, we'll see more of what's happening like in Israel. We'll see more of what's happening in Syria and all these other places. If we forget the humanity of the so-called other, of our perceived other, and by saying other, I say that a lot, because if there's one thing that I've learned from being a former extremist myself and learning what an echo chamber really means, I thought I knew a lot before. I had no idea until becoming enclosed in one of those echo chambers. And then having to relearn and reacclimate to society to some degree. And we look at the ones that don't agree with us, and I'm saying we as a generalized term, but a lot of people in society use the term other because they don't have to put a face to it. They don't
Right.
have to put a name on it. They don't
Right.
have to say my friend, or they don't have to, it's just some other that doesn't believe what I believe, that doesn't see what I believe, and I'm fighting them. And many times we are fighting an invisible enemy. We fight so much we don't even know who we're fighting anymore. So let's get back to
We're ultimately
basics.
fighting ourselves. Cut the
Oh, yeah.
division.
Yep. Let me
Divided-
take a break here.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Finish your thought first.
I was going to say, while you're taking a break, I'm going to plug another wonderful.
Go ahead and do that. And then after you do that, I'm actually going to play the trailer real quick because it ties right into what we're saying very perfectly. So go ahead. And then I'll
All
play
right,
that.
guys. We all get thirsty. We all have, especially now that it's getting to be summertime, it's going to get hot, especially down here in the South. Boy, howdy, the humidity is murderous. So, what do we do to beat the heat? You murder your thirst. That's right. Murder your thirst with 100% mountain water from the Alps. Liquid Death Mountain Water. It is online at liquiddeath.com, or you can even now find it at Whole Foods, 7-Eleven, Sheetz, Get Go, and Sprouts Farmer Market. If you don't want to wait and you hate shipping, they have I tell you, man, I love, personally, absolutely love Liquid Death. All right. It's amazing. It really is. Okay. They're really all about recycling and cutting out the garbage and all that. So, death to plastic. The average aluminum can contains over 70% recycled material. The average plastic bottle only contains 3%, people. Aluminum is almost infinitely recyclable. Plastic isn't. In fact, plastic is not even technically recyclable anymore because it's no longer profitable to recycle it. So, most facilities are simply sending the plastic to landfills because, well, they would go out of business trying to recycle it. Environmental economists now say it's actually better for the planet to simply throw your plastic bottle in the trash so that it requires less trucking to get it to the landfill. That's really damn sad. All the aluminum that has been produced since 1888, over 75% of it is still currently in use. I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty badass. So 10% of the profits from every can sold of Liquid Death is donated to help kill plastic pollution. So every time you buy a can of Liquid Death, they donate a portion of these profits to a handful of nonprofit organizations who are fighting the plastic problem and bringing clean drinking water to people in need. I don't know about you, but hey, come on. Who doesn't like helping people in need? So when you're thirsty and you want to murder your thirst, please go to liquiddeath.com.
Woohoo!
You are completely misrepresenting and stereotyping based on your connections. No.
The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is one of the most polarizing subjects in the world. As a Christian, I've always supported Israel's claim to the Holy Land. To me, the Palestinians were just getting in the way of God's plan. But the way I viewed the other side created a conflict within me.
There's about 57 Muslim states in the world. There's one Jewish state.
The massive ingathering of Jews in the last 150 years back to the land is absolutely unprecedented.
They say that there's no greater sign of redemption coming than the Jewish people returning to the hills of Judea.
I cannot comprehend in any way God's will for a certain group of people having to deal directly with the suffering of another people.
300,000 Palestinians are unemployed.
Most Palestinians have only seen Israeli soldiers and settlers, and I tell you, they are not very friendly.
I don't hate, but if you throw a stone at me or try and stab me, I will kill you.
Can you imagine as a child you grew up in the Palestinian society, all what has been heard about the Jews, they want to kill us, they want to drink our blood, so what I felt is full of bitterness, full of hate.
امسك صهيوني ولا اسرائيلي بقتله قتل الموت. انا بكرههم.
I don't think that people hate Palestinians. People don't want just to live. They don't want to die.
انا بني ادم جايك من برا حاب افرجي صورة الطرفين. انت اللي بدي يصور قضيتك كان يعني تطرد فيه.
If God cancels his promises to Israel, and I'm in trouble.
It's not that this land belongs to me, it's that I belong to the land, meaning that others can belong to the land also. So we're here and they're here, we're neighbors.
Nelson Mandela said, enemies, when they will walk together, they will break the wall between them.
God look on all the people the same. Jewish people, they like you. It's the same.
In spite of all the years of conflict, there are people here rising above the hurts of the past to speak the truth and be lights in the darkness. There's hope here if you know where to look for it.
Wow, that was
it's gonna make me.
Shit.
I already watched it. If you go to hopeintheholyland.com, it is available either by Blu-ray, DVD, or you can rent it through watch.salemnow.com. I'll put that in here, but there is a link on hopeintheholyland.com, and actually, if you go and see the founder of Beyond Barriers, has actually endorsed this film as well. And you can see it there. But it's very, very interesting. And I will say this and then I'll let you speak. What this film is trying to do, and it says it there, it's like it's not only showing both sides, but it is showing the people that are directly affected on both sides. It shows what they're raised to believe if they're raised in an echo chamber. One of them says, you know, some of these Palestinian people, the only Israelis they have seen are Israeli soldiers. Now, if I am a kid here in the U.S. and we'll use race as an example. I hate using that as an example, but you go to some neighborhoods and yes, black people are targeted in those neighborhoods. They might be a rougher neighborhood, so they are targeted more as far as more police brutality is concerned. If a kid grows up and all they have ever seen is police acting in a dishonorable manner, what is their opinion of police going to be? It's going to be that they are only these brutal people, when not everybody is like that. The same for this.
Right,
but yeah, go ahead.
So a viewer typed in, when we talked about just reaching across the aisle and talking to each other, he brings up a very valid point. And I quote, "But talking to each other, even listening to each other, in public life has become much harder because we all retreat to our own sides. Yep. We listen and watch only the media that is on our side, part of our tribe. We look for the views in the news that reinforces what we already believe," unquote. Now, that is absolutely correct. I know I'm guilty of it myself. I will not deny that one stinking bit. There is a t-shirt out there that says defund the media. To a certain extent, I agree with it. But I'm talking media on both sides.
Yep.
On both the left and the right. Friends, we are two hands of the same body, two wings of the same damn bird.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to really... this is an analogy, and I apologize if I'm using it out of context, but are we going to cut off our nose to spite our face and continue to be horrible human beings to one another? Or are we actually going to learn how to drop these walls and drop these barriers, drop these bullshit opinions, and actually love each other for a change? Whether you be Christian, Hebrew, Muslim, Buddhist, Satanist, atheist, agnostic, the one thing that we can definitely all agree on is that love is a wonderful thing, right?
Absolutely.
So why are we continuing to be douchebags to one another, right? Now, people, I got to tell you, normally on Coffee and Conversation, it's not this intense and deep. Hey, every now and again, you got to shake this.
It's one of those days today.
Fig tree a little bit. It is, damn it. And the puppet agrees. See? Look at him. He's smiling. Ah! Anyway, people, just be... I got a t-shirt made that says, just be good to each other, you fucks.
Yep.
To put it bluntly, all right? It takes zero effort, $0 to be good to one another. Forget the likes on social media. If you want to donate to a charity, donate to a charity. Don't sit there and hold your phone up saying, oh, look how good I am. I'm donating to a homeless man. You're pretentious and you're self-righteous. Go away. Take a shot and sit down before you get hurt. Now, okay, people, don't get it confused. I'm not advocating any violence. Some people might just trip over their own damn shoelaces, okay? They might trip on a crack in the sidewalk, all right?
Right. No, I mean, you got a point, though.
Don't get your man bun in a twist.
But
that's right, I said it.
Yes, you did. You said what you said, and that's what you said. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But I mean, it's really just as simple. People are like, oh, well, why would I want to talk to this person or that person or whatever? And it's just like, why not?
Thank
Is
you.
it going
I
to
was just
kill
about to
you
say,
to take that first step? Because I will tell you what, and a lot of people are like, well, it when you have two kids and they're fighting and you separate them, you know, younger kids, like elementary age is what I'm talking about, because it's a lot more difficult to do as they get to be teenagers and adults because they don't listen too well. But you get two little kids that are arguing and fighting, you know, they might be friends, they might not, but you separate them and then say, hey, look, and you kind of explain the situation to them. And you're like, all right, you need to go to apologize because maybe the way that they reacted was wrong. Or, you know, one hit one, so then the other hit him. So they both need to apologize to each other. So you tell him, you know, Johnny, go apologize to little Jake over there. And he's like, no, he needs to apologize to me first. So now they're standing there bickering. Who needs to apologize to who first? Well, you know what? Stop waiting for the other side to take that first step, because it is just as much our responsibility to take that first step as it is somebody else. And they might take the next step because you took that first step.
You know,
It's
I will
personal
never
responsibility.
You
Go ahead.
dipped a little bit into your past as a former extremist. Most people who know me know that I, too, am a former extremist. And I'll never forget the time that I took the opportunity to sit and speak with a former coworker of mine who was Muslim. And he invited me to forgive me. I don't know what they call their service, so please forgive me, everybody. I'll call it temple.
Mosque.
I don't know thank you. I went to one of their services. I participated in the Muslim feast. Just wonderful experiences. They were very open to answering my questions, to say, hey, yeah, you know, this is why we do what we do. This is why we do this, and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Some of the nicest people I've met, right? If we just take the time to just sit and chat, obviously within reason. You can't put yourself in any physical danger or put anyone else in any physical danger, because that's just rude. That's just asinine. All right. But the fact of the matter is, people, it comes down to love, not hate. You can't conquer hate with hate. So, you know, we talked about cancel culture. I'm going to throw this out there. The United States as a whole has a very dark past, a very shitty past. A lot of horrible damn things has happened in our history. This is a very unpopular opinion. No matter how many statues you take down, relocate, burn, topple, trash, it does not and will not change what has happened in our history. History is painful. History is uncomfortable, but it is there to teach us. And if we do not allow ourselves to learn from our past and from our mistakes, we're doomed to make the same mistakes over again. All right?
Well, we've resetting history has been tried multiple times by multiple countries, by multiple leaders. We'll take Pol Pot for an example. He wanted to reset back to year zero. Cost a lot of people their lives. Now, there's discussion over this, over that, or whatever. Most important thing is the fact that you cannot change history, but you can keep it from repeating. And that's why we do what we do. That's why I'm here. I mean, I'll be honest with y'all. I have extreme anxiety every time I get in front of a microphone, every time I get in front of a camera. Extreme anxiety. Might not show it here, and I hope it doesn't. But I push through it because I love chatting with you all. I love hearing the feedback. And I know that these are the discussions we need to have. We're not afraid to have hard discussions. I'm not afraid to have somebody on the show that has a differing opinion. I'm not afraid of that at all. I might not agree with this, that, or whatever, and that's fine. I mean, we sat here and did the last one with Larry, and Larry and I don't always see eye to eye on things, but he brought up some very, very valid points, and bless his heart, like, Larry has been one of the most amazing people I have met the fact that he has decided to take that first step and cross those lines without expecting anybody to cross them back in return. And that's the key. We are all learning. Humanity is growing and developing each and every day. We're never done. That's just the way it is. Right. That's the way we are as human beings. You know, we have, I know a couple of people that are linguists, and one's an archaeologist, and, you know, it all goes back to words. The fact that we are called human beings mean that we are constantly evolving and constantly learning and becoming new things. It's not done. It's not done. So, you know, if anything that I would say to take away from all of this is that life is a lot more nuanced than what many want to. We are taught at a very young age, typically, that it is a very, very yes and no. There is no maybes. It's right. Either, it's, you know, you've got this side, it's either right or it's left. It's yes or it's no. There is no center ground. And there is center ground, and it's okay to have that. And it doesn't mean that you have to compromise your beliefs. I would never ask anybody to do that, period. But it does not mean, but it does mean that we treat each other with dignity and respect and the humanity that we deserve. Because as soon as we start using labels such as other or enemy or whatever you want to fill in that blank to, Democrat, Republican, you know, that's a Democrat over there. That's a Republican over there. That's a conservative. You've already started down that path of taking the humanity and dehumanizing that person. Because in your eyes, they are no longer a human being. They are that politic. They are the other. They are the enemy. And that's, we need to get back to basics. And we can. And sometimes it starts with holding the door open for somebody. You don't even have to speak a word to that person.
A simple
do something kind. Exactly. That's right. Exactly. And that is my spiel, I guess you could call it.
A few moments later.
Exactly.
Yes, I had to. So listen, everybody, you know, it's getting to be about that time. I personally want to thank each and every one of you for coming in and tuning in with us tonight. It has been a wonderful pleasure to have you. It is great and wonderful to be back, baby. It is awesome. Listen, yes. Woo! Thank you for coming by and gilding the lily pad and coming by and seeing us. Listen, guys, just be kind to one another. Be good. Love one another. All right. This isn't rocket science at all. Oh, God. Impression time.
Well, I guess I can be Kermit the Frog for a moment. I'll do multiple impressions just for everybody listening out there. Yes, I am a frog. But the earth...
Listen, you should. Be good. Good you should be. Hold on. Hey, here's even better. This is near. This is far. And for those of you who listen to or ever watched The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Fred Fredberger. Yes. Yes. So I am that weirdo that does different vocal impressions. Everybody, you're welcome.
And if you stay long enough and tune in long enough to the Twitch, you get channel points. And as soon as you get to the channel points, you can have Red do an impression. And he does several different ones, and he's always learning new ones. And eventually I'm going to have a channel point just for Charlie there, because I think we're going to be seeing more of Charlie. If you guys want to see more of Charlie, please let us know. Drop us a note. Drop me an email. See, there we go. All right, Charlie, do you have any last words for us this evening? Any last parting words of wisdom?
No, not really. Thank you for having me on. I know it was a little impromptu and kind of weird to see just a felt-filled individual, but I definitely appreciate the opportunity to be involved in your program, and I hope to be back on relatively soon.
Absolutely.
Remember, people, you got two choices. Ha-ha. No ha-ha. So just laugh.
That's awesome.
People, don't take life too seriously. Learn to laugh. I speak from experience. If you take life too seriously, it's going to affect you.
And it won't just affect you emotionally and mentally. It can affect you physically also. It will. If your mental health is not good, it will affect your physical health. Okay, go.
That's right.
Shut up now.
No, it's all good. Acacia, do you have anything else to add tonight?
I don't. Just be good to each other. We will be back Thursday with hashtag the more you know. We will be highlighting a little bit of mental health, obviously, because that is one thing that we definitely try to hit hard on. But also, I think it's just going to be more of some more fun. We need more laughter in our lives. And hopefully here soon, we'll be able to have Yeti and Reed and Kelsey on from the podcast 8750. Check it out.
8750. If you don't check out 8750, you're square, man. Don't be square, dude. Wait, no. Huey Lewis said it's hip to be square. Ha! See, I know. Weird random shit.
I'm confused.
You should be. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Red. This is Underground Media. Thank you for tuning in. It was so great to be back and see all of your lovely faces tuning in again. Peace out. Peace, love, and graham crackers. Whatever you want. Have a good night, everybody. Be good.
See you Thursday. Oh, hold on. Let me turn this.